I can't believe you'd give me something this amateur, I said, holding up the USB drive containing Kai's anniversary song. The words echoed through Starbridge's main conference hall, amplified by both the acoustics and the dead silence that followed. Phoenix's sharp intake of breath from the corner was audible. She knew, as did everyone else at this company party, that I'd just crossed a line. Kai stood there, his usually warm brown eyes turning distant, his hand still half extended from offering me the gift. I'm Luna Blackwood, and at 33, I'd mastered the art of analyzing everything except my own actions. As Starbridge Institute's lead signal analyst, I prided myself on pattern recognition. I should have recognized this one. My need to control everything was destroying the one thing I couldn't control. Love. Amateur? Kai's voice was quiet, controlled, the kind of control I'd been losing lately. Right, because everything needs to be perfect for Luna Blackwood. I didn't mean. But I did. I'd meant to hurt him because he'd been disappearing for hours lately, coming home late from Resonance Studios, with vague excuses about projects and deadlines. The party continued around us, but the damage was done. Our private moment had an audience, including the CEO of Celestial Dynamics Corp., our biggest client. Perfect. I should go, Kai said, already backing away. Early session tomorrow. Another mysterious session? The words shot out before I could stop them. Phoenix appeared at my elbow, her grip tight on my arm. Time for some air, she muttered, steering me toward the balcony. The cool night air hit my face as Phoenix practically pushed me outside. Behind us, the party's soft music mixed with murmurs about what had just happened. What the hell was that? Phoenix demanded, her dark curls wild in the wind. He spent weeks working on that song. Weeks? How would you know? Because unlike you, I actually talked to your husband instead of just analyzing him. She pulled out her phone, showing me a calendar app. Look familiar? It did. It was the same app I'd been using to track Kai's suspicious behavior patterns. Every late night, every missed dinner, every studio session carefully documented. He's hiding something, I insisted. Yeah, he was. A surprise, was. The next few weeks became an exercise in escalation. I created spreadsheets tracking Kai's moods, his studio hours, his phone usage patterns. Each data point felt like evidence of something, though I couldn't say what. Our home, once filled with music and laughter, became quiet except for the clicking of my keyboard as I logged another anomaly in his behavior. You've got to stop, Phoenix warned one day at work, watching me color code another spreadsheet. You're creating problems that don't exist. But I couldn't stop. Starbridge had just landed a major project, and my pattern recognition skills were earning accolades. If I could analyze signal patterns from space, surely I could decode my own marriage. The breaking point came gradually, then all at once. First, there were the dinner parties I kept organizing to perfection, measuring guest interactions, monitoring conversation flows, timing each course. Kai stopped attending after I criticized him for disrupting the social algorithm by telling an unplanned joke. Then came the home recordings. For research, I told him, setting up small microphones in our living room. I wanted to analyze our communication patterns, optimize our conversations. He started spending more time at Resonance. Just listen to the song, Phoenix pleaded one day. The one you rejected. Actually listen. But I was too busy creating a database of Kai's facial expressions during our increasingly rare conversations. Each smile, each frown, cataloged and analyzed. The crisis hit during the Starbridge Resonance collaborative event. Both companies were launching a joint project about converting space signals into music, and everyone who mattered was there. I was scheduled to present our findings, Kai to demonstrate the musical interpretation. I arrived early, laptop full of data, charts, and relationship spreadsheets I'd been obsessively updating. That's when I heard it. Kai's voice from the sound booth, mixed with a woman's laughter. The rational part of my brain said to wait, to analyze, to collect more data. Instead, I burst in. I knew it, I declared to Kai, and a red-haired woman I recognized as Maya Chen, one of Resonance's top vocalists. They were huddled over a mixing board, headphones between them. Luna, don't, Kai started. Don't what? Don't interrupt your private session? Don't disrupt your perfect audio levels? Don't mess up whatever this is? I gestured wildly between them. Maya removed her headphones slowly. I should go. No, stay. A Apparently, my husband prefers your company anyway. I have the data to prove it. I pulled out my phone, hands shaking. 37% increase in late nights, 23% decrease in home dinner attendance, 60% drop in casual physical contact. Are you seriously pulling out spreadsheets right now? Kai's voice cracked with disbelief. The patterns don't lie. No, but they can be misinterpreted. Phoenix's voice came from behind me. She must have followed me in. Luna, just stop and listen. To what? More excuses? More mysterious projects? I was on a roll now, months of suspicion pouring out. Did you know he's been deleting his text messages? I have a chart showing the pattern. Play it, Kai said quietly to Maya. She hesitated, then pressed a button on the mixing board. The room filled with music, but not just any music. I heard my laugh from years ago mixed into a melodic line, our first date conversation, woven into a harmony. The silly song we made up while painting our apartment transformed into a bridge. Every important moment of our relationship carefully preserved and transformed into your anniversary gift, Phoenix said softly. The one you called amateur without even listening to it. Maya's been helping with the vocals, Kai explained, his voice flat. Along with half the studio, it was supposed to be a surprise album, a way to show you that while you were busy documenting our relationship, I was actually living it, remembering it, cherishing it. The room spun. But the late nights, the deleted texts, coordinating with musicians, keeping the surprise, he laughed humorlessly. The irony is, I started this project because I thought it might help you see that not everything needs to be analyzed to death, that sometimes love is just love. The aftermath was nuclear. News of my meltdown spread through both companies. My carefully constructed professional image shattered as quickly as my personal life. The joint project continued, but I was quietly moved to a different division. Kai moved out 3 days later. I can't live in a lab experiment anymore, he said, packing his studio equipment. Every moment shouldn't be data points and variables. Sometimes a kiss is just a kiss, Luna. Not everything needs to be optimized. I threw myself into work, but even there, things had changed. My obsessive attention to detail, once praised, was now viewed through the lens of my public breakdown. Coworkers stopped inviting me to lunch. Projects were assigned to others. Phoenix, though, refused to give up on me. You need therapy, she said bluntly one evening, finding me creating yet another spreadsheet. This one analyzing where my marriage went wrong. And I don't mean data analysis. I'm fine. You're really not. She closed my laptop. You know what the real pattern is here? You're so afraid of losing control that you try to quantify everything. But life isn't quantifiable, Luna. Love isn't quantifiable. The album Kai had created was released 2 months later. Not as an anniversary gift, but as Resonance Studios' breakthrough project, Love Frequency, an exploration of human connection through found sounds and music. It won several awards. I couldn't bring myself to listen to it. Instead, I watched from afar as Kai's career soared. The concept of turning personal moments into musical landscapes resonated with people in a way my spreadsheets never could. Phoenix was promoted to lead the joint project I'd been removed from. He's dating again, Phoenix mentioned casually, 6 months after the separation. We were at a coffee shop, neutral territory. Nothing serious, but he's moving on. Have you analyzed his patterns? I asked bitterly. No, because I'm his friend, not his data analyst. She stirred her coffee. You know, it's interesting. You spent so much time tracking his movements, his moods, his minutes. Did you ever track your own? That hit home. In all my spreadsheets and recordings, I'd never once turned the analysis on myself. Never tracked my own declining happiness, my increasing paranoia, my obsessive need to control every variable. The real breakthrough came a year after the breakup. I finally listened to the album, all of it. Each track was a moment in our relationship, preserved not in data, but in emotion. The final track was the one I'd rejected that night at the party, but now I heard it differently. It was us, all of us. The imperfect, beautiful, unquantifiable us. I broke down in my car, playing it on repeat. Not because of the lost relationship, but because I finally understood what Kai had been trying to tell me all along. Some things can't be measured, tracked, or optimized. Some things just need to be felt. The divorce papers came with a note. Some patterns are meant to be broken. Phoenix found me in my office, staring at them. For once, I wasn't making a spreadsheet about it. You okay? She asked. No, I answered honestly. But I think that's okay too. I started therapy the next week. Not couples counseling to save my marriage, that ship had sailed, but personal therapy to understand why I'd needed to control everything so desperately. Kai's album went platinum. Phoenix's project revolutionized how we process deep space signals at Starbridge. And me? I learned to live without analyzing every moment to death. The final irony came during a routine system cleanup at work. I found an old file, one of my relationship analysis spreadsheets. Opening it, I noticed something I'd missed in all my obsessive data collection. The more I tried to control and analyze our relationship, the more data points showed its deterioration. I'd created a self-fulfilling prophecy documented in neat rows and columns. I deleted the file. Today, I still work at Starbridge, but in a different capacity. I help develop programs that recognize when to stop looking for patterns, when to let the signals just be signals. Phoenix and I remain friends, stronger for having weathered the storm together. She's running her own division now, and sometimes I catch her giving me knowing looks when I start to slip into old habits. As for Kai, he's touring with his second album. I heard through Phoenix that he's engaged. The thought doesn't send me to my spreadsheets anymore. Sometimes late at night, I still find myself wanting to document everything, to control every variable. But then I remember the look in Kai's eyes that night at Starbridge, and I close my laptop. Some things aren't meant to be analyzed. They're just meant to be lived.